Hello buddy, I'm Brian Esser from How to Automotive, and today we're talking the M12 3/8 drive fuel ratchet by Milwaukee Tools. So if you're in the market for a cordless ratchet, Milwaukee Tools has just come out with their new versions of the M12 fuel ratchets. They come in 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 inch drive versions. So in this video, I'm going to be demonstrating the 3/8 version. I also will be demonstrating the 1/4 inch version in another video. So make sure you subscribe to the How to Automotive YouTube channel so you can check that video out. There's no comparison to the old version to the new version. The new version is so much better. It's on another level. The old version was great though. I liked the old version. It works really well. Not to knock this tool, but the upgrades that Milwaukee has made, as you can see in the head design here, is tremendous, and the way it feels just holding it, you can tell that this is a much better made and it's much more durable tool. With the brushless motor, I've been using it all week long, and as you can see on the fuel gauge here, it's only down to 2 bars after using it on all kinds of jobs, as you'll see in some of the video clips that I've done. This tool worked great too. It would last the majority of the week too on one charge, but with the brushless motors, it really has made a big difference. One of the great features I like about this one is it's a little bit longer than the old version. So when you're using it and when you're pulling on it, it gives it that little bit more torque, and it doesn't feel like it's going to damage the tool or anything. This one has a much beefier feel, so it's much easier to use with your hands when you're ratcheting with it and stuff. And the other thing I like about it is the quick connect, or the anvil switch here is really easy to use. In the old version, it was a little small and a little tight, a little hard to flip because of how small the little lever is here. And this one's a much easier usable tool. Some of the cool upgrades that I like about it. Here is a side-by-side shot of the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch ratchets. Today's video is going to be focused on the 3/8 drive ratchet. So I wanted to go through some of the specs of this tool. So as you can tell, the head of the tool is much beefier than the old one. It has this switch here, the anvil switch, that switches nice and easy, and it's flush so it doesn't get hooked on things and switch when you're using it. I really like that. It has a trigger lockout, so when you push the trigger lockout when it's in the bag or a toolbox, the trigger can't be pressed and spin or waste the battery. It operates on all the M12 batteries, the 6-hour, the 4-hour, and the 2-hour amp batteries. It has a fuel gauge telling you the battery life on the side. It spins at 200 RPMs when you pull the trigger at full power, and it has 55 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. It has a really nice LED light that really does light up your workspace when you're working with it. It works really well. It weighs around 2 pounds, so it has a good feeling to it. Feels solid in your hand as you're using it. The head of the ratchet is powder coated, so it's definitely going to get chipped up when you're using it in the automotive industry. So you might want to order a head cover for this when you order yours. So here's a comparison to the old version to the new version here. And as you can see, the new version is a little bit longer. The head is definitely thicker. Both tools have the variable triggers that are very comfortable and easy to use. They also have rubberized grips that are chemical resistant. The Generation 1 ratchet had 35 foot-pounds of breakaway torque and tightening torque, and the new version has 55 foot-pounds of torque. So coming in at 20 more foot-pounds of torque really makes a big difference when you're using it in the automotive world. So in the next few clips, I'm going to show you how I put this ratchet to use and how I think it would help you and how you can use this. Here I am using it to remove some splash shields on a timing belt job I did. And when I pull the trigger, you can really see that LED light up the bolt and fasteners that I'm removing. One of the things I noticed right away is the new brushless motors are a lot quieter than the old version. Here I am using it to put that same cover back on and tighten them back down. And with the variable trigger, it's nice to ease the power up. So in testing this out, I threw just about everything I could think of at it. So here I'm using it to remove some covers on a valve cover job that I'm doing on a BMW. So as you can see, when you're doing service work like this valve cover job I'm doing here, it's going to be great for making quick work of everything. It breaks all the fasteners free. There's no, in this case, I didn't even have to use the ratcheting motion to break them free first. I just pulled the trigger and it broke all the fasteners free with no problem. Here I am using it in the very back here where it gets a little tighter and it has no problem getting in here and cracking the fasteners free. Here I'm using it on a brake caliper, and it's going to break this bolt free, and you'll see the brute power of it, that it's actually spinning the internal fastener. So this ratchet is going to be great for doing brake jobs. Here I am breaking a brake caliper bracket free, and it just spins the bolts out with ease. So in this clip, this rotor is stuck onto the hub, so I got an 8x125 bolt screwed into the rotor. Use the ratchet here to spin it in, and it cracks the rotor free and pulls it off for me. Here I'm using it in a tight space to remove some bolts on a water pump that I was doing on a Volvo. So even though it's larger than the old version, it's still small enough to get in these tight areas and use it, so it's very functionable. Here I'm using it to break a brake caliper bolt on a Toyota, and as you can see, it just pulls the trigger and it rips that bolt right out. When you do come across a fastener that's tighter than the torque on the ratchet, you can just use it as a regular ratchet to break it free, and then you pull the trigger and rip the bolts out. So as you can see, it's going to be very handy for doing brake work. It's going to make your brake jobs more efficient for sure by using these ratchets. In this next clip, I'm using it to tighten the bracket back down, and you can really hear the torque of the motor as I torque it down full power. Here I am using it to remove some bracket bolts that I did on a strut job. In this next clip, I'm using it to remove some spark plugs, and I'm using the variable trigger to slowly remove the spark plugs. If you pull the trigger really fast and hard, it's possible to rip the threads out. So I'm just using it to slowly remove the spark plug. So as you can see, this tool was designed to fix cars. So if the new Milwaukee ratchets are something you're interested in, I will leave links for these in the description of the video as soon as they're available. Right now it's a little early, they're not available to the general public, but after November 2017, these will be available. So there will be links for these in the description of the video coming soon. I'm Brian Esser from How to Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos, encourage you to subscribe, invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this. And I'd like to thank you again for watching.